takes a 6-game winning streak to win a national championship. Michigan got to this point after trailing Xavier and South Alabama at the half. Then they blew away North Carolina, Virginia, and in a tough game on Saturday down to Illinois. As for Seton Hall, after struggling a bit in their first game against Southwest Missouri State, they really came alive. They were favored by 10 in that one. Then they put away Evansville. Then handed Indiana and Nevada, Las Vegas, the worst records they've ever suffered in the NCAA tournament. And for Duke, they were down 18 and beat them by 17. Their average margin, 15. They won the coin flip. They'll wear their home whites. Michigan coming down in the maize and blue with the first set. Rice makes it a 2-0 game.
Brent, straight man-to-man. Gaze got caught behind a screen early on. He's going to have to fight over screens much tougher than that.
Morton's three rims out, and Griffin rebounds for the Wolverines. Ramil Robinson brings it down. Great strength. He'll go to the glass with the left hand, missing, and it is Walker down with the game's first rebound. Mickey Crowley, your referee. John Flaherty and Tom Rucker, the two umpires. Green bangs in a three.
If there's been one major change in this Seton Hall team the last month or so, is that Green is looking for the shot early. There's Gaze fighting over the screen.
Got out hard on Rice that time. Knocked the ball back near the midcourt line. They set another screen, and he comes around. And Gaze dueling Rice for the ball. Rice comes back. It'll be 5-on-4 now. Lost the dribble.
That was a dangerous play for Rice for the simple reason he should have given it up. Gaze was wide open on the other end of the floor. We said he's a heady ball player. He would have got an easy 2 on the exchange.
Green and Robinson have dueled away as youngsters up at a tournament in the Boston area. Best of New York against the best of Boston. Ramos partially blocked on the inside, and Buck yanks it away, and here's Ramil Robinson again.
There are those bangers on the inside. Mills with about 2 inches on Ramos. Bad shot, and he makes it anyway, huh?
He took a bad one on Saturday that wound up being a brilliant one when Sean Higgins put it back in to propel him into this national championship.
Walker's getting good position on Hughes inside. Bad pass by Gaze, letting a little bit too much to the left, but Vaught is playing right behind Walker. Walker should be able to handle the ball in the low post.
P.J. Carlissimo has one Achilles heel in the Big East, and that is Syracuse. And there are any number of similarities between Michigan and Syracuse. Good point guard, tall men on the inside, and that one banged in by Vaught. And Michigan moves out to a 6-3 lead and looks good doing it, Billy.
A big shot by Vaught. He's only shooting 41% in the tournament after shooting 66% going into the tournament. So Steve Fisher has to be happy with that.
Gaze off a fake, got Griffin to jump in, and Mickey Crowley picks up the foul.
Griffin is the lowest scoring player in the NCAA Final Four, and he cannot afford to help out inside because Gaze will hang out beyond the three-point line and get those cross-court passes. So Griffin better stick with him or he'll be hitting some threes.
Green around to the top, and they work to Morton from the perimeter over Rice. Hit high, knocked away by Walker, but it is Michigan that touched it last. Did Ramos go down hard that time? Not hard enough to hurt that man. He is like an oak tree on the inside. Has not played well in the NCAA tournament compared to regular season, but you could expect a big game from him tonight. Morton's three.
Three-point basketball.
Glenn Rice could have some problems with Morton. Morton's shooting well from the outside now. Rice is not quick enough if Morton puts the ball on the floor and penetrates by him.
Gaze chasing Rice all over the floor right now. There's a screen set down low on Gaze.
Great D, great D, great D. All the cutters were covered, and when Ramil Robinson picked up his dribble, which he could not afford to do, there's nobody to throw to.
Billy, I want you to watch Gaze because as he goes out after him, you would think that if he has to work this hard at the defensive end, it could well affect him offensively. But Morton misfiring. Ramos going for the rebound, lost it, and it goes over Michigan. Ramon Ramos from the Puerto Rican national team. He played for them over in Korea. He was scouted by Seton Hall ever since he was 15 years old. P.J. Carlissimo has coached the team down there in the summer league. Quick turnaround. Misses missing, and it is Rice with an offensive rebound and a second miss. Seton Hall's ball.
Glenn Rice put that up a little quicker. Now, one of the advantages I see him having over Gaze is when he can get the ball inside 15 feet. He's a much better leaper. Should be able to do some damage inside.
Billy, 5 of Seton Hall's first 6 shots had been from the three-point line. That time they punched it in low to Walker.
No basket out of bounds on the drive, but there was a case where Morton was able to go right by Rice. Sometimes it's very difficult to guard a man different than the one that's guarding you. You get crisscrossed when you're going back down court. That's what's happening to Rice.
Ramos chases, bought out high. Mills being worked over by Walker, who is a very tough defensive player. Walker staying right with him, and he forces the turnover, and that's the third here by Michigan. Watch Walker duel away. One of the brilliant things that the former New York State High School star does out of All Hallows High School in the city, and he did a great job that time. Ramos off the glass, and it is Vaught going to work on the inside and drawing the foul from Ramos.
Brent Ramos still struggling offensively. Had a great year this year, all Big East first teamer, but just has not been able to get it done offensively in the tournament. Full court press for the first time by Seton Hall. They turned Duke over a few times in his press.
They get it back to Robinson. He'll go all the way if he gets daylight. Yanked off by Ramos.
Great defense that time by Walker. Hard to handle him in the open court.
Billy, when you take on someone like Ramos, even if he's not shooting well, how about the wear and tear physically by the time you get to the last 10 minutes?
Well, that's what's been Seton Hall's big advantage against other clubs, but Michigan can come back in with Hughes to play him for a while.
And Walker on a slick turnaround, his first field goal. Walker, Green, and Morton, the two guards, have both hit threes, and Seton Hall up 8-6 as a result of that. Now Rice maneuvering, and Gaze right with him. And Rice able to jump up over him, and it's his second field goal.
And that was just great shooting and not poor defense, because Gaze made the great play to fight over the screen. Just Rice squares up so beautifully on the shot.
Now we have our first two subs. That's Mark Hughes, number 55. The interchange with Vaught coming out. And now we have Sean Higgins. He was, of course, the hero on Saturday afternoon. He was in the right spot against Illinois. Game is tied. We're in the early moments here of the national championship between Seton Hall in the white and Michigan with the Big Ten in the dark jersey. Another three off, and Robinson has a defensive rebound, deflected on the pass to right to Higgins, and he threw it into the backcourt. He has turned it over.
Backcourt violation.
Now that was just a mental breakdown by the young man in the fact that he knows that Robinson's the guy they want to have the ball on the break. He just wasn't in the front court yet. It's going to be an interesting matchup for Higgins down here on Gaze, and Gaze is a very intelligent player, sizing up that he's being guarded by a rookie. See if he tries to pick him off inside. There he goes.
Gaze with the three, rims out. Mills tracks it down, and again gets it into Robinson's hands. He pulls up on Green and hits the two. Michigan up as the result of that field goal. Off to Gaze on a cut off his foot, and over to Higgins. Here comes Robinson again, 3-on-1, bounce past Rice.
Ramil Robinson getting to be a master leading that fast break now. Doesn't get caught for the charges. Gaze is giving Higgins a real lesson, though. He got off two shots on him in a hurry. He's coming right off screens. There he is again.
Back into Morton's hands, and it's an offensive foul called on Morton. Rice able to draw it that time. That's the first on him, and the second team foul on Seton Hall. We're going to have our first commercial timeout here of the evening at the 14-16 mark, and Michigan up by 4. Assists.
Well, we said the sharpest point, meaning the point guards, which one would be the key. So far, Ramil Robinson has pulled up and taken the jumper. On that particular play, he led Glenn Rice perfectly for the easy layup on the break.
And a wild Rice. He has hit his first 3 shots, missed only once. 3 of 4 for the game now. Knocked away by Walker, but Rice is there. He'll hoist the 3. Out of bounds. Higgins goes for it, but it's Seton Hall's ball. Walker was standing right there. Seton Hall 3 of 10. They've taken 7 from three-point land, but Ramos with a layup.
And Green answers as to who's the sharpest point. If Seton Hall can thank anybody for being in this championship game, it is Green, who brought him right from disaster against Duke and led that club very well.
Robinson capable of posting up and got on the inside and drew the personal foul on Green. Billy, bench strength is so important for Seton Hall. Michigan went to its bench first. What about the Pirates?
Well, we talked about Cooper going to be the first man coming in tonight. We talked about Goudet mates, and we're talking about that incredible bench strength that Seton Hall has shown, going 9 deep and getting quality from every man they bring in. I'm surprised they didn't put Cooper on. Yes, they did. They put him on Rice. That'll give Gaze an opportunity to rest a little bit defensively.
He'll chase Higgins now, and he's out on him. They get into Mills, turn around in the paint, rimmed out, and Robinson in low, puts it back. So Ramil Robinson is off to a fabulous start as the leader here of the Wolverines.
Many people consider Ramil the finest guard in the country coming out of high school. He had to sit out his freshman year at Michigan, but is coming on strong now as a true All-American caliber player.
Ramos goaltending, put it down. Ramon Ramos against the Soviet Union over in Korea scored 16 points in the Olympics and pulled down 8 rebounds.
Now watch this pump fake on the inside. Gets his man up in the air and then uses that wide body to score. No question about the goaltend on Rice.
It's a 2-point lead by the Wolverines. That's on the inside, and that is Cooper holding Rice down on the inside. He was trying to get free, and he just reached out and grabbed him.
It's away from the ball. Good screen by Mills. He's got Cooper caught, and Cooper tried to just use that upper body strength on Rice, who would like to post him up down inside a little bit.
Robinson deep in the corner now for the Wolverines.
Ramil, realizing he has Gaze on him, would like to go by him.
There's the pick on Gaze. Robinson gets it inside and can't put it down. Walker quickly into the hands now of Green. Walker off the dribble. Misfiring, knocked back to Gaze. He'll come inside, and Ramos wasn't expecting the pass.
Yeah, tough pass, and Ramos hurt his finger on that one, too. Just a bullet pass, a little bit too close. Didn't have the spacing for that type of play.
Ramos shaking off some of that pain as Vaught returns.
You can see that Steve Fisher, realizing and respecting that Seton Hall bench, is using substitutions early, much earlier than when the players are actually tired, which I think is a great move.
Screen out high, left-handed dribble, and on the inside, knocked out of bounds. Did you see how Ramos reacted initially?
He thought it was a foul. Great reverse dribble by Ramil Robinson. Doesn't mind taking it inside against the strongest of people. Excellent call by that official on calling it a good block as opposed to a touch foul. But Ramil thinks that he can take Green inside. They played against each other for the first time in the Boston shootout as high school players. Robinson has had the advantage of Green throughout those early contests.
They want that ball in Ramil's hands. He'll dump it into Hughes.
Gets the roll. These teams match up so well inside against each other as far as power and strength.
Gaze left open, missed the 3. Rice rebounds.
Got Hughes.
Robinson 2-on-1. He'll take it on in. Yanked away off the miss by Walker, and it's Seton Hall's ball. They trail it by 4.
There's one of those decisions for a point guard. If Ramil would have taken it more to the center and pulled up, he'd have had the angle for the pass.
Ramos comes way out. Here is Cooper.
Looking to get an angle to pounce the ball into Walker inside. They couldn't get it.
This is good interior defense by the Wolverines here so far tonight. Stepping out is Green. Lifts the 3, and only one shot as it's Rice again underneath for the rebound.
Brent, an underrated rebounder is Glenn Rice. He skies and he knows how to get good position. He's just not a shooter out there. Oh, good hedge that time by Walker. Fine defensive play.
Rice alone for the three. Ramos runs the miss down.
Imagine some of the other coaches, particularly Dean Smith from North Carolina, wondered where that shot was when they played him. He didn't even hit the rim during those games.
Ramos from the perimeter missed everything, but Gaze was underneath and drew the foul. So Higgins fouling Gaze with the score 16-12. Michigan leading Seton Hall, and 10.5 minutes left in the first half of this national championship game. Griffin returning.
And also Anthony Aban in the game for the first time. Brent, he has been on fire. 17 points in the last 2 games, actually outproducing Ramos from the post.
Also, Mike Griffin.
Rice will take his first break. Gaze has missed his only 2 field goals, but it's a free throw with Ramos also being given a breather. So Fisher doing a job of rotating his entire starting lineup and giving everybody a breather here early.
An interesting philosophy in substitution. Dr. Thompson up at Iowa uses the same thing. He feels that if you take a player out for short spurts early, he doesn't come quite so tired over the long haul. So Steve Fisher is implementing the same system.
And now P.J. Carlissimo using some of the same tactics. Gaze sitting down. Morton on the floor with Green. Cooper is still out there. Avent on the inside with Walker.
Higgins has range in that jumper. Cooper better get out on him a little further.
Mills backed his way in. Offensive rebound. And good putback by Buck, with the coach's wife cheering on that move. And the lead 4 again. 18-14 Michigan.
Third team all Big Ten player. Bud had been solid. There's Higgins on a rebound. Higgins is 6'9". You don't realize how tall this Michigan club is on the floor. 6'10", 6'9", 6'8". Griffin at about 6'5½".
Mills steps out. Griffin inside now to Ramil Robinson, who posts up his man. That's 6 points for the point guard.
Here's where Griffin is really valuable. Although he doesn't score a lot, he's got a good passing angle, being that tall out in the top of the key.
Avent jump pass over to the side, and it's Walker.
You know, I have a feeling, Brent, even though we've passed the 10-minute mark, that these teams are still kind of feeling each other out.
One thing is evident, and that is Ramil Robinson could be headed for a huge night. Higgins on a turnaround, partially deflected. Here is Green. Green will bring it down. Robinson watching him, so he comes over to the left, and no daylight for penetration as Robinson got over there and sealed up quickly. Now it is Morton looking down the baseline. Walker runs it down in the corner. An offensive rebound, one of the things that he does very well.
Ramil Robinson looking a little tired right now. He's matched up with Cooper in this lineup, so Cooper can post him down low.
Morton.
Michigan got caught in a bad matchup there.
Robinson with 6 points and 4 assists. Listening to Coach Fisher as he comes across the midcourt line. They punch in down low to Vaught, and he traveled. He turned it over. That's the 5th Michigan turnover. The Wolverines leading it by 2, 20-18. We'll take a timeout at the 8. Well, an early story here in Seattle tonight has been the defensive work of the Wolverines, holding Seton Hall to 35% from the field and forcing them to take 9 shots on the outside. They've made only 2 of those 3-pointers. Seton Hall trailing it by a field goal, coming back down now against that Michigan defense.
Rice on Morton. Morton's got the quickness factor on him. See if he can get a shot off.
Mills taking Avent on the inside. Now it is Morton running underneath with Rice, who has returned, chasing him.
Real good upper body defense on the inside by Hughes and Mills, not giving Seton Hall. There's the quickness by Morton.
And Morton, what he did against Mike Krzyzewski when he helped lead Seton Hall from behind to a victory in the semifinal, has tied it up here at 20 with 7.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Brent, that's really a tough matchup for Glenn Rice to be expected to stay with a quicker guy like Morton.
Rice on the inside, and Walker is fouled up over the top. And Walker continues to do an outstanding rebounding job, drawing the first personal from the Michigan Stars.
You know, this Seton Hall club lost Mark Bryant last year, who was a first-round draft choice by the NBA. Not many people expected him to do much. They were picked 7th in their own conference preseason. There again, Morton is taking Rice.
Green's three, the 10th one that they have attempted, and his second successful one here, putting Seton Hall ahead 23-20. Robinson went all the way against Illinois. Dishing off the pass, out of bounds on the inside, and that's the 6th Wolverine turnover.
Glenn Rice going back down court, looked over to Ramil Robinson and said that was my fault. I mean, the ball was thrown exactly where it should have been.
Demetrius Caleb off the bench, but it is Higgins and not Robinson who will be given a break here with Seton Hall up 23-20, 6:52 to go. And now it is Morton with the three. That's 12 unanswered points by the Seton Hall Pirates. They lead it 26-20. Into Rice, who snaps it off the turnaround, and he was fouled by Gaze. That's Gaze's first personal. The young man from Melbourne, Australia, here for his junior year in college, will return down under. He'll soon be 24 years old. He would have to apply for an extra year of eligibility. His father, Lindsay Gaze, is the John Wooden of Australia and runs a team down in the Melbourne area, and that club badly needs Gaze, their star, to return as a player. And so Dad said, "Nuh-uh, he's not coming back for his senior year. He's coming back to play for me."
Brent, I have a little bit of problem with that in terms of the international player, and I don't think there was anything that PJ had set up to have a guy used for 1 year, but I really question whether that is a good move for the future. You see a lot of people going over to get an international player for 1 year to help him shore up an individual position.
Yeah, there'd be some Soviets who would be.
Well, the Yugoslavians have an awful lot of outstanding young talented players, and bring a player in for 1 year, use them to have a quality team and send them back home might not be in the best interest of the game.
But it is certainly within the rules.
Exactly.
And here he is in a national championship game along with Ramon Ramos.
Good D.
Mills jumping out over to Robinson. Caleb on the right, back to Vaught, trailing, and Avent coming down on the inside, and there's a blocking foul, and they're pointing at Wigginton.
Wigginton, a very difficult guy to go ahead and do something on the break because he's so small, low to the floor, kind of like a Muggsy Bogues from the Charlotte Hornets. But this is a good play by Mills to hit ahead. The man has excellent hands. Good decision-making process by Robinson. But see how low to the floor Wigginton is? Very difficult to get in against him. Took away an easy 2.
Robinson into the paint. That's 8 points.
I don't know if there's a guard in the country that takes it to the hole any better than Ramil.
Rice out here with Gaze. Mills taking the inside pass away, so Volsey has to step out.
Now, Gaze kind of lulls you to sleep as a defender. Looks like he doesn't even want to score, and then all of a sudden you turn your head, and he looks to pop the shot on you. Both teams playing great man-to-man defense on the inside.
Wigginton inside. The smallest man in Division 1A, 5'4", Pookie Wigginton, took it on the inside and hit the field goal, and the crowd loved that one. Coming down the line now, and Robinson with his 10th point of the evening.
What's happening is that the big men inside for Seton Hall are playing such great man-to-man defense on themselves. They're not switching over to help as Robinson penetrates. They're going to have to help a little bit more of the guards because he's just going in and scoring at will.
Seton Hall flashes very well to the outside for that three. You know that, Billy? They'll take a man down low and they'll bring him out around that screen. Morton's looking for it.
Here's where Rice wants to switch. Good play by Rice. He switched back so he didn't get stuck with Morton. Both teams playing smart basketball.
Look how they come inside out. Missed the three that time. Michigan rebounding. Down by 2. They can tie or go ahead this trip.
Does it seem to you that Ramil's getting a little tired here? Instead of really pushing the ball down the floor like he normally does, he's kind of walking it.
Rice bangs it in, and that was a 2. That's 10 points for the 2-time Big Ten scoring champion.
He only needs 29 more points to become the all-time Big Ten scoring champion.
Wigginton with a great pass on the inside, and that was responsible for the foul.
Now here are those solid screens down inside. You see Gay's trying to come over the top with Rice, and he has to go so wide on that screen that he can't get there in time, and all Rice needs is that split second.
Yeah, again, Billy, if they need Gay's three-point shooting, and he's a superb outside shooter, when you have to chase and work that hard on a great offensive player, sometimes it'll take a little something out of you defensively, and he might not be up to torching the net in the second half as he was on Saturday. Terry Mills, one personal, being given a break. Gaze has missed his only 2 field goal attempts. This is Bolsey at the free throw line for Seton Hall. Game is tied.
Bolsey shooting 2.
Seton Hall, a very good free throw shooting club, 75% on the year. Both teams very solid from the line. Steve Fisher continues to rotate those big men, trying to keep them fresh. He's very much aware of how Seton Hall has worn clubs out, particularly the last 10 minutes of a ball game.
Missed his free throws.
Higgins is quietly getting up on the boards tonight and doing a good job. Oh, good cut.
Traveling. 7 Michigan turnovers. We've got a timeout at the 3:46 mark. Tied at 28. Seton Hall and Michigan for a national championship. Michigan and Seton Hall deadlock, Billy.
Well, Brent, with just 3:46 to go in the half, we can see this is relatively a low-scoring game. Michigan does not do well under 80, 2-5. You can see Seton Hall better tempo to play either style.
Here's one of the trends to watch for. Seton Hall has brought its game to the outside against the taller Wolverines. This time they punch it into Ramos. But for the year, they have averaged only 14 three-point attempts a game. Tonight, Seton Hall has already hoisted up 12 in the first half. They lead it 30-28.
Great sign for PJ to get Ramos off the bench and immediately score from the inside.
Here's Rice responding with a 3, and he has 13.
Brent, he doesn't even tickle the net when he hit it. Those shots from the outside are right on the money. 13 leaves him only 12 away from the all-time NCAA scoring record in a tournament held by Senator Bill Bradley.
Ramos with his man going down, couldn't put it away, and it's Robinson 3-on-2 to Caleb. Nice. He gives it back to Higgins.
Beautiful look-away pass both by Caleb and Robinson. Good teamwork.
Michigan 33, Seton Hall 30. We're now to the 2.5-minute mark, first half.
Robinson on Gaze now. See if Gaze would take him inside a little bit, make him to work down low. There he's going down low, but not getting the ball.
Green tries a penetrating move. Higgins slaps it away, and it'll be 2-on-1 with Green rushing back into it. Robinson goes all the way. Higgins tries to knock it down and can't.
Brent, they rode Higgins right out from under the basket on that play. Had to be a foul. He was the shooter.
Whistle before the shot. Pushing foul going against Michigan.
Well, the worst game to referee is a game that has a big screen behind it for the fans. They see all the replays, and that's what the boo's about.
First, Michigan's fifth.
Only 5 team fouls against the Wolverines.
Here you see Ramil putting it up. Now watch, Higgins, he has the tap, and they ride him right out underneath. It has to be a foul on that play, no call.
Did they ride him out, or did he throw a saddle up as he bent over backwards on Green? He looked a little bit like a pretzel that time.
He has to have the right to come down somewhere, other than on somebody's back.
Morton tries to get through Robinson, and the foul is going to be called on Ramil. That's his first personal foul.
Well, there are no pads in basketball, but fellas better be strong with upper body strength. And you can see Ramos just saying to Hughes, I'd like a little more room in here, sir. Excuse me, please. Kind of like getting into some of the elevators here in Seattle.
Gaze up on top. Higgins chasing him. They go in low again to Ramos against the double team, and now Gaze is open for the 3. Cannot find it, and Rice goes up high to get that rebound.
That's the 3rd or 4th time tonight Rice has been above the rim to grab a rebound.
They save it? Yes, they did.
Ramil Robinson content to go down inside. Now, what Seton Hall may find, if Ramil's going to go inside so much, they may be able to release a man and get an easy, fast break because there's nobody back defensively, particularly with Griffith out of the game.
Here's Robinson in low again, drawing the foul from Gaze. And there's a smiling Michigan athletic director and head football coach, Bo Schembechler.
Well, taking a look at the way Ramil plays, Bo'd like to have him maybe at a fullback in the goal line move right here. I mean, he's just going down inside and bullying people out of the way.
For Michigan, shooting 2, Ramil Robinson.
Ramil, born in Jamaica, moved to Boston when he was 6.
That's a marvelous story about him. He was born and abandoned by his mother 3 years after they moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts. Slept in the hallways of a school, spent nights with friends' families before being adopted. And the folks who adopted him are here tonight watching Ramil Robinson turn in a spectacular first half. Norton misses, and the ball is batted out of bounds by Rice.
And Brent, on that story, it's a very nice scene that his stepfather saw him play the other day for the very first time.
He's a mailman back in the Boston area, and someone donated the money to get the family out here for this game, and it is truly a very warm story here tonight. Well, that was Green getting in on the inside for P.J. Carlissimo, and Michigan leading it 35-32. We're coming down to last shot time here in the first half.
They'll take one. It's Walker on Rice, so a good matchup for P.J. Carlissimo against Michigan's most dangerous scorer. Morton. Now, what helps Michigan is the fact with Caleb in the game, they can use Robinson down inside. He doesn't have to be the primary ball handler. Too early for him to try to go one-on-one. He'd like it with about 8 seconds to go. Now it's 8.
Robinson is fouled by Green, his second personal.
Top of the show, we talk about who was going to have the sharpest point, meaning which point guard, Green or Robinson, was going to have the best game. So far, it's been all Ramil Robinson.
Bott replaces Hughes.
But a very good time to press now if you're Michigan, because you want to make Seton Hall use up as much of this 6 seconds getting the ball up the floor as possible.
Billy, take a look at the face of Ramil Robinson as he steps back up to the free throw line. I mean, this young man has really been a warrior here in Seattle, not only Saturday, but here tonight. He's the Iron Man. He's already scored 13. Seton Hall will hurry to get off a shot. Green will bring it all the way down. Missing, and that'll end the first half. Robinson's 14 points paced the Michigan Wolverines. Andrew Gaze held only 2 free throws. For Seton Hall, it's 37-32 in our coverage.